Wake up, Pre-Health Sharks. It is time for another edition of our Wake Up Pre-Health Sharks webinar. My name is Emilio Lorenzo, Associate Director of Employee Relations for the Center for Academic and Professional Success. And I am going to be turning it over to our knowledge experts in just one moment, where we tackle various pre-health topics. This is an ongoing monthly webinar where we provide NSU pre-health students with guidance, tips, tricks, and tackle various topics. So I'll talk about the topic for today in one moment, but let me turn it over to our two experts and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into the topic for the day.
Thank you, Emilio. Hi, everyone. So glad to be back this month. My name is Gabby Gross, and I'm an Edge Advisor in the Center for Academic and Professional Success.
And hi, everyone. My name is Carl. I'm a new addition for today, so thank you for all having me. I look forward to talking a little bit about these virtual experiences and helping you find all these wonderful resources. But my name is Carl Harrow, and I'm also an Edge Advisor with the Center of Academic and Professional Success.
So we are going to be providing you a lot of guidance on how to build experiences in a virtual world. Talking about a variety of resources, guidance, tips, and ways that even CAPS can assist you in all this. As I mentioned earlier, this workshop, just like all of our webinars, are recorded and added to our YouTube channel, NSU CAPS or NSU Center for Academic and Professional Success. And you can review various other topics, including applying to professional school, finding shadowing experiences onwards. So gaining experience in a virtual world. Obviously, COVID has affected the types of experiences we can gain as pre-health students and how we go about it. However, NSU provides a number of avenues for you to find internships, for you to find research. And then there's national databases, local database that provides volunteer opportunities, summer immersion programs. One of the biggest tips I can give you is starting early, especially right now. If you've never heard of REU, we're going to talk about, many of these REUs, summer immersion programs, internships, they're recruiting students right now. So you need to start early. There's even some programs that are recruiting already for fall 2021, like the Cleveland Clinic Scholars Program and others. You need to start early. You need to make a game plan. Meeting with your Edge advisor or career advisor can go a long way in being able to be proactive and being able to understand what's out there. Speaking of being proactive, you can't just limit yourself to clicking and applying. Get in front of individuals. We're going to be talking about career fairs, but also the power of informational interviews, reaching out to professionals on your own and being able to ask about shadowing, being able to ask about volunteering, getting your foot in the door. But it starts with proactiveness and knowing what resources are out there. You know, we're going to talk about these resources, from career fairs to Handshake to really everything that it's available to you, from newsletters onwards. And I think being open to new opportunities. You know, students are like, what should I do this summer? And they think of it only as one thing. You know, you can shadow your family doctor or start there. You can also get a research experience. And with the summer providing so much flexibility, you can use the time to plan for the MCAT. You can be able to do other volunteering, shadowing, getting involved, working at a nonprofit. There's a variety of things you can do, and you don't have to do just one. That's the flexibility the summer provides you to build those experiences. Having a strong resume is going to be important in that, because anything you apply for is going to ask for a resume. And if you're like, I don't have a lot of experiences, we can help you leverage classroom projects on your resume and showcase that passion. But it starts with strategic summer planning. What are you going to do? Don't think about it in May. You need to start thinking about it now, while there's still ample time to be able to meet with employers, community partners, research associates, even your own faculty. If you wait till May and June to ask your faculty about a research opportunity, chances are they've already filled that research assistant position. So you need to start early, and you need to start speaking to faculty, whether it's during office hours, setting up meetings, but being proactive is going to be key.
Thank you so much, Emilio. Those are all really great tips, especially the starting early one. I think a lot of students tend to wait until the last minute. I know, some of us do as well with getting things done, but starting early for finding experiences, especially during this time, is very, very important. But we want to start off just by talking about just some volunteering opportunities that some are virtual, but some are just ways that you can think outside the box during this virtual world. Examples such as crisis text lines. I have a lot of students who are now doing, or they're now in an opportunity where they can text individuals in a crisis and help out the community in that way, doing online tutoring or mentoring. I know you, Carl, said that you had an opportunity like that you knew about.
Yeah, so recently, it's Waverly Waste Tutoring. They've been reaching out for volunteers who needed or had tutoring experience, or at least were willing to provide tutoring experience for a wide range of individuals, ranging from like elementary all the way up to high school, but in just different subjects: math, science, English. But a way to give back to the community and just kind of assist. I did it over a weekend, and it was just like an hour or two, but it's a great way to also just kind of give back a little bit and do some community service.
That's great. Thank you so much, Carl. If you can actually in the chat drop the name of that organization, that'd be great for everyone to
Yeah,
pick
sure. Let
that
me
up.
actually find the link and I'll find the contact too.
Perfect. Awesome. So yes, like Carl said, he's doing online tutoring or mentoring through different organizations. We also put on here calling different hospices or retirement centers. You never know how they need assistance, whether it's having, virtual volunteering assistance or in person, really depending on what you're wanting to do. Contact tracing and resource coordinating, that's huge, especially during COVID-19 time. There's a lot of contact tracing opportunities that you can do virtually. Grocery deliveries, if you think about it, there's a lot of individuals, specifically elderly, that don't feel comfortable, going out and getting groceries or any of those just minuscule things that they would do on a daily basis before the pandemic hit. So thinking about helping in that way. Be My Eyes app, that's another great one. I have a lot of students. I know you, Amelia, heard of that one as well. I don't know about you, Carl, but that's a great app as well, where you can help the blinds with either grocery shopping or picking out an outfit. It could really be any sort of just small task they need assistance with. And you can do that just straight through your phone or straight through the comfort of your own home. And then we just have some other experiences here, or excuse me, opportunities here that you can look into. Hands on Broward, American Red Cross. These organizations have virtual opportunities as well as mutual aid networks. So you can get connected really with individuals that have similar interests of helping the community as you do. So these are just some ways just to get you started and thinking. And Carl, thank you for dropping that in the chat. Of different things you can get involved virtually, but also getting involved in this virtual world. I think that's another way we need to talk about it, because it's not only just through sitting in your home or on your phone, on your computer. There are a lot of ways to do that, but it's also about thinking differently and trying to get unique experiences because we're in this virtual world.
Yeah. Some great resources that Gabby, you mentioned, and Carl, you added to the chat box. Remember, and we have another session, we talked about the 5 pillars, but remember some of the essence of the foundations that involve a healthcare profession. You're going into an industry that's service to others. So volunteering is really important, but also think about the transferable skills. Like when you go to medical school, PT, dental school, they'll teach you the hard skills, how to do a root canal, how to assess and diagnose a patient. What they're not doing and what they expect you to already know is some of these transferable skills: communication, teamwork, being able to diffuse a situation. You're going to be, for example, you go to dental school, within the first 2 years, you're already working with patients. And if you're going to have people that are going to be upset because they're at the dentist, how are you going to mediate situations? How do you calm people down? How do you communicate complex information into understandable terms? Because it may make sense for you as health professions, but when you teach patients, you need to have that calm demeanor. Think about it. If you ask your family and friends, what do they love about their doctor? Chances are the first thing they say isn't amazing clinical abilities. No, they talk about their communication, how calm they are, how much they care about you. And this is an important thing to think about. So you can work on these transferable skills through a variety of different avenues, but also the experience and doing it in a healthcare setting can only be more beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Amelia.
Alrighty. So we also do just want to share a few opportunities that you can also get involved in that are available to you. These are completely free and actually student-led. There are a pair of students that have kind of banded together to try and provide other students like yourselves looking to go into like medicine or other pre-health professional fields so that you can get shadowing experiences. Because as a lot of you probably know, getting shadowing experience has been very difficult with everything going on. I know a lot of doctors aren't willing to bring in students simply because of the liability and the implications with COVID. A lot lot of places aren't willing to accommodate that right now, but there's still opportunities for you to get that experience and at least those observations. So one of the bigger tools right now that I would definitely recommend is this virtual shadowing experiencing through web shadowers. Web shadowers is, like I said, it's a student-led group, but they bring in doctors from all over the country. They host information seminars and virtual shadowing experiences for students and they can come in and observe them. Like, actually, I know tomorrow they have one for an anesthesiology position, that if students are interested in going into that kind of field, they have a doctor who specializes in anesthesiology, and you can definitely check out their sessions, but there's no sign up at all. You can just follow that link. It's webshadowers.org, and they have information there that you can just go in and view their session. So this is just one of a few that we're going to be sharing today, but it's a really great one. Another one is pre-health shadowing, very similar, also student-led organization, focuses on a variety of things. You'll see that they actually have a lot more resources on this one too. So it's the same principles. They have doctors that come in and they host these live sessions. They actually pre-record all of their sessions as well. So if you want to go back and watch some of the other shadowing experiences that they've kind of hosted previously, you can do that. But they also have volunteer opportunities and ways to get involved in your community. So check out their website as well. It's just prehealthshadowing.com. And you'll see that just browsing through their website, they have a lot of opportunities for students to kind of go in, get the experience and do these observations.
Thanks, Carl. So those two are really great websites to use for shadowing for pre-health students. Definitely the pre-health shadowing I've seen more resources on, just to be completely open and transparent with you guys when you are looking at those sites. We did also want to include this Dental Shadowers Instagram page. So if anyone here who's listening is interested in dentistry and going the pre-dental route, definitely check out this Instagram page. They have a lot of great opportunities for shadowing in different dental fields. I did see today they had an oral surgeon, they had an orthodontist. So you could be looking at all these different great ways to observe from the comfort of your own home, and even through your phone. I also wanted to mention that we didn't include it here, but if you do not have social media, I know most students nowadays do, but if you do not have social media, they also do have a YouTube page. So I'll be dropping that in the chat in a few minutes.
A lot of these opportunities, you're probably thinking, well, how do I get guidance on what opportunities count for shadowing and what don't, especially with COVID? And that can vary. That's why we provide an avenue for you to talk to admissions counselors, not just at NSU, but other graduate programs throughout the country. So we have a virtual graduate and professional school fair on March 25th. It's all being held virtual, but it's a great chance for you to talk directly to the people who are either decision makers or can guide you. Even for some of our NSU programs, we have the direct program directors that are going to be leading these sessions. So this is a great avenue for you to be able to learn more, talk to grad professionals, talk to individuals in these programs, and learn a little bit on what you stand and what you could do to stand out.
Right, and I do just want to add a little bit thing to that one, because I know a lot of the times a big issue for students when they're thinking about like virtual experiences, like, oh, will it count? Because there are certain programs that do require like minimum amount of like shadowing or observation hours, and this would be a great opportunity to actually ask those questions to those admissions and graduate school professionals, because they're the ones that you really want to confirm with. I know most programs right now, with everything, that they are more open to the idea, and you can list it definitely on your applications, but if you're not 100% sure, especially depending on the program, you should really speak to admissions and just ask to make sure.
And later on, when I show you, we have a slide on a career fair, I'll show you how to sign up for the grad school fair in addition to some other fairs.
And I think it's good, Amelia and Carl, what you're bringing up too, before we get into the slide, that even if you're not at the point of applying to grad school or to professional school, it's still great to attend, because you could learn a lot, that way to get you prepared. I think right now we're definitely on the uphill with the pandemic, and hopefully we'll get some more shadowing in person, but it's still important to learn about, how they approach these virtual shadowing opportunities and how they count it. So we also wanted to bring up, this slide we brought up in a lot of our additional Wake Up Pre-Health Sharks webinars, but just some other experiences to think about. Even though we're in a virtual world, some of these type of experiences still are being offered virtually, specifically the scribe or telescribing opportunities. So that is where you are charting physician to patient encounters, so basically following around a doctor and writing down notes. It's a great experience for undergrads. We see it a lot for undergrads as well as students that are in a gap year. And like it says here, they do have telescribing opportunities. We actually do have an organization attending our Recruit a Shark fair. So once we're talking about that in a later slide, definitely, Emil, if we can point out that organization. In addition, being a phlebotomist, that performs blood transfusions or draws blood for tests, and being a medical assistant too, which is more known as a clinical assistant nowadays too, that helps healthcare professionals, usually in a clinical setting. So all of these are type of experiences you can get involved with still, even though we're in this virtual world. Specifically, scribing has the most that we're seeing more virtually nowadays, but you still really never know. And we like to say on the bottom, we're talking a lot about shadowing virtually, and we know that it's harder to find during this time, but it's still really important to try to connect with physicians in your area. You really never know who's more open to it than other individuals. I always tell students, you have to reach out to 15 or 20 individuals to get one yes, right? You want to prepare yourself to yes. Unfortunately, be disappointed if an individual tells you no, that you cannot shadow them, but you never know. If you reach out to 10, 15 individuals, one person is bound to come back and say yes. I actually just had a student recently last week that just got a dental shadowing opportunity in person. So it also depends on your comfort level, but just think it's important to try connecting with physicians in your area, dentists, any other healthcare professionals, and see what they say.
Some great points, guys. Some great experiences to definitely evaluate. And we the career fair, I'll definitely point out some of those scribe companies involved.
Thank you, Emilio. Same thing goes for research. So we talk about research a lot in our Wake Up Pale Shark webinars. Research is a great way for students to get involved, and a lot of medical programs and other additional healthcare programs are looking into it, or want to see it on your resume. So with research, we always say, and I'm going to repeat this, I'll repeat this every single Wake Up Pale Sharks, it's very important to connect with faculty to find these type of experiences. So through email or going to their office hours and trying to create that relationship, because the faculty are really the ones who have those research experiences on campus, and being really flexible during this time. You never know if you can contribute to their research remotely. And this is really what we're talking about today, is that there are opportunities remotely. There are virtual opportunities, especially with research. We have students right now that are doing research, again, from the comfort of their own home, from their computer. So definitely reach out to faculty still, and don't feel like just because we're in this time that you can't get an opportunity. And I know Emilio brought up in the beginning the REUs, or the research experiences for undergrads. The National Science Foundation always hosts every year a large number of research opportunities for undergrad students at universities and colleges all over the country. So this is something that interests you, definitely start to look into it now, because we are for sure on a time crunch with these type of experiences, and you want to be able to come and meet with us, meet with your advisors to get assistance on these applications.
And there are literally thousands of REUs out there. But again, as Guy mentioned, the deadlines are coming up in March for many of them, and they're competitive. So you don't just apply to one, you apply to multiple, but they provide housing, stipend. Some of them have moved fully virtual, but you got to put a competitive application, which we can assist you with. All right, some summer experiences. And the next two slides talk about these things. There's summer experiences through NAHP, which is the National Association of Advisors for Health Professions. AAMC has a variety of summer undergraduate experience. I'm going to show you them in a second. I just want to highlight them before I show you the pages. HOSA does a variety of opportunities, and they have an internship portal specific to that. Pathways to Science features a lot of the REUs that Gabby had mentioned, and then some additional ones. There's also a great article out there on the top 40 pre-med summer internships. Well, I'll show you and I'll add it to the chat box. And then finally, pre-PT guide, a grind for exercise science majors or those interested in getting into the PT profession that can be really beneficial. I'm going to share my screen now to show you some of those. You can see the pre-PT grind here. This not only has, articles, details, it really is from PT experts themselves. So they kind of go into a lot of different experiences, testimonials, podcasts, blogs. It's some good resources to look at. This is the HOSA internship page we were talking about. So you can see it lists summer internships anywhere from American with Diabetes, Camp Cardiac, CVS Health internships, global internships, Johnson & Johnson internship, especially for our chemistry majors. there's really a wide variety of opportunities there. This next one is the article I had mentioned that breaks down the top 40 pre-med summer internships. And they kind of break it down by West Coast, East Coast onwards. Some of these do feature those REUs we talked about, but then there's just so much more. And so this is another thing you could look to evaluate. AAMC, as I mentioned, also lists opportunities, and some of this has some crossover, guys, because many of these sites are listing it in multiple ways. But again, you want to know everything that's out there. And I think it's comforting to know that there is so much out there, from surf programs to SHEP, which I'm going to be talking about. There's just something in there for everyone. And in my next slide, I talk about these immersion programs, summer health profession education program. These do have sometimes they have you go in and see cadavers. You get presented to by actual current medical students or medical, faculty. It's really good mentorship, hands-on projects, and very immersive. Something local, and it's only available to South Florida college student, is the Doctors of Tomorrow program. This is a program ran by FIU's medical school that immerses students through a 5-day really boot camp on medicine. It gives you also professional development from mock interview skills, but there are also simulations, outpatients, and professional presentations involved in it. So all of these can be really valuable for you. Again, they have different timelines and deadlines and things that they're asking for, but this is where we can assist you with. And we have sent some email blasts out on Doctors of Tomorrow, so you may have received one already, but these are all for you. These are all things that are available to students, and as you can see, there's so much to go through. So taking the time first to go through and see which are of interest so that you can apply strategically. I mentioned a lot of these already, but UF also has a summer dental program. Rutgers has a gateway to dentistry. There's just so many out there that can really put yourself in an advantageous position to get into that profession once you graduate.
I want to add something real quick, Emilio,
Yeah.
too, because I've had a lot of students, really telling me that they don't think that these opportunities are happening because of this time, but that's not it at all. Like, these opportunities are very much happening during this time. They're just adjusting to the times. Like, for example, the Doctors of Tomorrow program, it's usually a program that you would stay on FIU's campus, but because of the current pandemic situation, they're not wanting that. So it's just going to be, Emilio, you tell me, actually. I think it's going to be like you just would commute to FIU if you're able to, correct? Day to day. Okay.
That's how I've seen it. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's great because what they're showing us through this program is that they're still having these programs. They're just adjusting to the time. So be aware to still be looking out for all of this. We have a question in the chat. Sorry, I can't pull it up.
If we are not originally from, can we still apply if we were temporarily living here?
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty certain you can, because FIU also has students there. On the contact, it has the person that is running the program. They may just require you to provide let's say you're living on campus, providing your residential information. Even if it's not like your license says that, there's ways of verifying that you are, what they really want is only South Florida students. So they know many of these South Florida students, their hometown is in South Florida, but I would be very doubtful that they would stop you from applying as long as you're living in South Florida currently.
Alrighty, so I know we talked a little bit about like all these opportunities, and just a reminder, I'm sure most of you are hopefully familiar with Handshake, but if you're not, what is Handshake? Well, Handshake is an application. It's in your SharkLink account. You should be able to easily access it, but more importantly, it's a career platform that's meant for students to connect with employers and find different opportunities and events. So I know like with Go Pre-Health Sharks, we advertise it in a lot of different ways. This is one of the ways that we also advertise it on Handshake. So you can see similar events like these. We'll actually be talking about a few more later on, but it's a really great tool. You can find things like internships, you can find things like job opportunities, a lot of different data and resources are located within Handshake. You can find a variety of employers, both within the state of Florida, but also out of state, depending on what you're looking for and what kind of field you're looking to pursue. So if you want to look through it, I'd encourage you definitely just go to your Sharkling account. It's very easy to access. If you haven't made an account already, just easily sign up. It'll walk you through it as you try to access it. But it's our main platform for a lot of different events and opportunities. So definitely check it out on a regular basis if you can.
And when we get into the slide about the pre-health career fair, I'll show you how to navigate to find resources on there and find the fairs themselves. But what Carl says is right. It's like your one-stop shop for career needs and has a variety of events, programs, and not just ones NSU's hosting. There's like clinics and national organizations, including Scripps, different RU sites that host webinars weekly. And so these are all things available to you as NSU students.
Right. All right, so one of the events that we hold every semester are actually our case competitions. So every semester, in this particular semester, we have one going on, but these case competitions are opportunities for NSU students like yourselves to kind of solve company specific problems or different live scenarios. So these can be real or fictitious, but it's a way for you to kind of start thinking and get involved and getting experience. So these case competitions, you have to sign up, but there are some great perks to it. It's something you can put on your resume or on an application. You do get one Excel unit as well for the experience. So if you're still short of an Excel unit, this is a great way to get that unit and the overall experience. But you can win a lot of different prizes. I mean, some of the prizes that we've offered in the past were like internship opportunities or full-time positions for maybe a particular company. In one case, we had a 3-day cruise. You can actually win some cash prizes. There's $1,000 scholarships and then some gift cards. So depending on the competition, you can definitely have a wide variety of opportunities to kind of gain experience and hopefully win something nice. All right, but for this semester, so for the winter 2021 term, we actually have a telehealth case competition. So hopefully some of you are familiar with what telehealth is, but if not, this is a great way to kind of learn a little bit more about it and then definitely start speaking to it. One of the major criteria for this competition is that you will need to develop a research paper that highlights the different trends in telehealth and provides recommendations on how it could be utilized in the future. So you'll be working through a series of industry skill workshops to kind of educate yourself on telehealth and what's needed to kind of treat patients in a virtual world right now. A lot of medical practices are utilizing telehealth to treat their patients and meet with them. So definitely it's a great opportunity to learn a little bit more about it. But you'll be working in teams, and then the top 4 teams, they get a chance to actually apply what they've learned in their workshop and what they've kind of learned within the research paper that they've constructed to actually act out the scenario. So actually working with patient actors and providing telehealth case or treatment to some of these patients. So there's also a $400 prize. So there's a nice cash incentive for anyone who is interested. And if you are, feel free to just email casecompetitions@nova.edu. You'll be able to get any questions answered directly through there. And then you'll be more familiarized with it once you reach out to them. They'll give you a list of resources to kind of catch you up to speed.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks for going over some great research. And again, guys, if you have to leave for class, this will be on our YouTube channel, NSU CAPS, or NSU Center for Academic and Professional Success, where we have all of our recorded webinars located. One of the big avenues to help you find opportunities and meet with employers is our career fair. So our Recruiter Shark Virtual Career Expo, we have a variety of them organized by industry, but we have one specifically for pre-health, exercise science, and research. This is where you can learn about companies, explore different career options, but meet with employers for internships, jobs, volunteer, all types of opportunities. I'm sharing the PowerPoint so I can show how to navigate and find these resources. So give me one moment. So the first thing you'll do is you'll sign into your Handshake account. As we talked about, this is what Handshake looks like. One-stop shop for your career needs. If you go on the top left, you can hit jobs, and that is where you can search for internships. But if you hit events here, it'll pop up all the upcoming events that are happening. Again, it's not just internal, it's external. If I hit this filter for career fair, it'll pop up all the upcoming career fairs thus far. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the pre-health one. And in the body, it'll show me how to RSVP for the event, which is right in here. I can also click see more employers, and this will give me a full digest of who's signed up thus far. So Atlantis, who provides summer opportunities for students in immersive medicine, the CDC, which has a number of internships and jobs, and with COVID going on, they have a big need. Clear Vision Center of South Florida really provides great internships for students, whether you're interested in optometry or just gaining patient experience, but all different types. There's something for everyone here. Here's one of the scribe companies that we alluded to earlier, Pacific Medical Training. It gives you the training for scribing and becoming certified in that. Quotient Sciences and Research, Reroute Performance. If you're interested in going in PT, OT, this could be really valuable. Scribe America, they do telescribe opportunities and in-person scribes. This could be really valuable. Scripps, one of the most widely known research opportunities over the summer is through Scripps. But there is something for everyone here, including nonprofits dealing with health or U.S. Department of Health and Human Service. There's a lot of great experiences out there for students. I'm going to go back to the homepage real quick because I want to show one more thing that leads me perfectly into my next slide. If you're in here and you click on the Career Center on the top right corner, it'll take you to a landing page where it has all these things you could use Handshake for. We're going to go ahead and click on resources. And there's all types here, anywhere from resume development, sample cover letters onwards. But if you hit this CAPS jobs and internships newsletters, it'll take you directly to our most recent newsletters organized by industry. So my next slide, I am talking about the pre-health newsletter. You can click here. Next Tuesday, our next February edition comes out. Our newsletter is so valuable because it tells you not only how to make an appointment, it talks about these upcoming fairs that we mentioned, external events that could be valuable for you. But then it goes into resources and a lot that we've kind of mentioned today. And so these are drop-in hours with graduate programs every week. This is how to schedule an appointment. These are the portals, some of which Carl and Gabby have already kind of alluded to. And then after that, this is when it starts getting into the experiences. So all types of internships, jobs, volunteer, research opportunities, really guidance for you to make sure that you're on the right track in your career and you know the experiences that are out there.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I mean, I do have one quick question. I saw it in the chat. So we had a question asking for the teams for the case competitions. Are they predetermined or do you get to choose?
You can make your team. You could do it by yourself or with up to 4 individuals. If you are searching for a team, we do reach out to those that maybe still have spots remaining or those that have indicated they are looking for team members and connect you in that way. But most of the time, the teams either make their own team or, we communicate to kind of connect them with other folks that are doing it on their own.
Awesome. Thank you.
So this kind of hits the same thing, our newsletters. I showed you our local newsletter. Now that goes out every month, but we also send a regional newsletter every semester. And these are, if you're looking for opportunities closer to home, we have a Northeast, a Southeast, a West Coast, a Midwest, and a whole research edition. And so these are just additional resources for you to look at opportunities, especially in the summer when you might be going back home for the summer. I can't believe we got to the end of that. That was a lot of resources, topics, but just know that whatever we talked about today, or even some specific questions you have about yourself and where you want to go, the Center for Academic and Professional Success, CAPS, is here for you. Whether it's career exploration, resume and cover letter, internships, research, shadowing, graduate school planning, personal statements, we're here to support you and your career needs and make sure you have an edge in your career. You can schedule an appointment by going through Navigate, or you can call our front desk, 954-262-7990. As always, we host this monthly webinar as another resource for you, but we're always available. We want to make sure that you know what's available to you and you're taking all the active steps to be successful.
Thank you everyone for being here and hope you have a great day.
All right. Hopefully you learned a lot and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
And if anyone has any questions, we will stay back for a few minutes or you could drop it in the chat.
Well, until the next Wake Up Real Sharks, thank you for joining us.
Bye. Thank you so much.